So it's a good little tip you guys should see. As we see Foreplay pick up a wonderful headshot before they will and Foreplay is continuing to dominate everyone right now.
What up, channel? It's Foreplay, and this is the Pro Scene number 13. As always, I'm here with Sharp, and today's topic is going to be dealing with difficult teammates and trying to release players. How to do that. First and foremost, I want to start by saying I hope that 1 through 12 has helped you as always. And with this one, it's going to be a little different. We're not going to mention any names, but a lot of people have been brought up, hey, how do you team with so-and-so, or how did you? Because they're known to have an attitude throughout the community. Sharp, if you want to go ahead and speak your piece on it, then I will go ahead as well.
All right, well, I want to say from my personal experiences and personal opinion on teaming with people that are difficult to deal with on a team, and what I mean by that is people are always complaining, always blaming their teammates, and just pretty much making it unpleasant to play with them. I can't stand teaming with people like that. I can't stand with people that are either just complaining about the game all the time, like, you know, a little bit goes a long way. And also people who just blame losses that they never take responsibility for anything, just blame losses on everyone else. And my last, I guess you could say, pet peeve is people who, instead of giving constructive criticism, just sit there and try to tell you what to do all the time, like they're, you know, God's gift to Call of Duty.
And what I mean by it is, I guess there's players, right, that they have this attitude, and their attitudes in the game and out of the game are completely different. A lot of people are so boisterous on Twitter, and they'll just talk about, like, God knows what. They'll have attitudes. They'll talk shit in games, and I've teamed with the worst of them. I promise that. I teamed in COD 4. I'm not going to mention any names just because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but COD 4, I teamed with a guy for, what was it, like a couple PCLs and some Holiday Classics, and we were unstoppable. We never lost. Sharp, you knew who I'm talking about, I'm sure. And this guy would just talk shit all the time to anyone we played, even to our teammates. He was racist, he was whatever, but it got to a point where it didn't really matter because we were winning so much that we just blew it off. The keys to being able to deal with these teammates is don't hang out with them. Like, don't like play pubs with them, don't chill in parties with them.
Invite them when you have a game, and when the game's over, just...
Yeah, limit your time together. I know you guys are probably like, wow, that's crazy. And I'm only saying that, like, to do that if you have one of those players that you can't stand, but you guys are still good together. Like, limit your time together. Like, it's not as hard as it seems. Like, make sure you have a practice time. So let's say you practice from, like, 6 to 9 every other night or every night, whatever the case may be. Then make sure you're on from 6 to 9. Do what you got to do. Tell him, hey, be on here. We got a game here. We're doing this tournament there. And that's pretty much it, because things are different nowadays because there's so many different ways for people to talk and interact. Like, before there was just like game battles forums to where people would always just talk shit on there, but now there's Twitter, there's live streams, there's so many different ways for like interaction. So, but also always try and be positive and kill them with kindness. I know that saying goes a long ways, but it's so true. I've even gotten into it with Sharp before in the past, but we always would settle our differences by just talking it out or whatever the case may be. But we were never to the extremes of hating each other and stuff like that. And
I think our arguments were more just like the constructive criticism and just like arguments about the game and stuff. It wasn't more like fighting or anything like that.
Exactly. Yep. Also, avoid stupid issues. That's one of the biggest keys. Avoid like arguing about dumb stuff and saying, hey, you did this wrong or you did that wrong. Instead, just try to come at it as a team. Say, hey, we as a team didn't do this. We didn't do that. And then also, we wanted to talk about releasing a player. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, these two topics kind of tie together because if your team is playing bad and you do have someone on your team that's unpleasant to team with, and we got to talk about releasing a player. The first thing that you don't want to do when releasing players with the whole Twitter and social media and this whole thing, you don't want to just tweet out, all right, we're releasing this player without even talking to the player. That's just, it's not right for that player to hear over Twitter that he's dropped off a team.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And also try to keep it classy. Like, releasing a player can be really hard, but try to keep it classy because you never know what'll happen. And what I mean by that is, I've teamed with people, and then 2 years later, I've teamed with the same person that I used to team with. You never know what'll happen. You never know who will be good. And sometimes things don't work out. We would always get questions in our inbox like, hey, how do I release this player? This guy is a really good friend of mine, but he just doesn't have what it takes. And that's one of the hardest parts. When you start to get it, like, establish a personal, close relationship with people, you know everything about them, and then the next day you're like, hey, I can't be on your team anymore. That's like how COD 4 Envious was. In COD 4 2008 season, we never broke up the roster once. Every pro circuit ladder was the same. We even went to the national championship with the same team, and we were the only team to do that. And then I remember making the transition. We had 2 players, and I'm not throwing them under the bus, but they just couldn't keep up with the transition of the game going into 2009. So we made roster changes, and once we made those roster changes, we continued to win. So obviously we knew what we had to do, and it was hard to do it because I was so close with these guys, but at the same time, it's just something you kind of have to do. What else do you think? Like, avoid talking shit, probably, because you never know what'll happen.
Well, yeah, you don't want to burn any bridges with people. Like you said, you never know when the next Call of Duty comes out. They could be one of the best players in the game. But I just want to say, from personal experience, it's always better to just be straight up with the person and tell them. Like I said, don't let them know over Twitter. Don't let them know like through someone else, and don't appear offline and start screaming with other people. Just if you have their phone, or they're on Xbox or you're on Skype, whatever, any way that you can just talk to them one-on-one, most of the time people will understand and be like, all right, and they won't be mad, and that's a good way to savor a friendship that you built with the person, instead of just saying, all right, we're gonna drop you, and or just instead of not even saying anything to them, which is gonna just make the person mad and make them despise you. So,
also, I was gonna say, have a legitimate reason to cut somebody. Like, make sure that they're not just going through a slump. Because there's been times even in my career where I would just suck. Like, I would suck for like a week straight, and I would tell my team, I'd be like, man, what is wrong with me right now? I'm in this slump. And then I'd come out of it and just be on fire for like the rest of the month or something. And it's gonna happen to everyone, where you're gonna go in a slump, whether it's a day or a week. And once you're in that slump, you just got to get out of it and try to be an encouraging person and say, hey, okay, so you're not playing good right now. Try to pick it up tomorrow. Because every time I watch someone stream or these scrims or something, I'll see a lot of these people that are watching the stream. They'll be saying, oh, he sucks, or this guy's not even that good. And they're talking about like established pro players that aren't really that good. And it's like crazy to hear people talking shit about them, or just seeing it. Because I'm kind of like the third view type of looking at it, like from a third person type of view, seeing like all these people downgrading these pros just because they're in a slump. And it's going to happen. So make sure you have a legitimate reason to drop them, whether it's their attitude, their lack of professionalism, or also just their slump never ends. Like, if their slump never ends and they just stay in that slump forever, then there's something that has to be said. And you gotta, like, first and foremost, you gotta make sure your team is gonna be a successful team, because that's what gaming is all about. Like, obviously playing to have fun and playing to win. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say, or?
I think we've pretty much covered these 2 topics pretty good.
All right, awesome. Well, as always, this is the Pro Scene number 13. I'm 4Playing that sharp for Team Envious. Peace.
Peace.
Nice work, Delta. Well done.